Holy TVMA? Really? Yeah, this trailer came out yesterday and it blew my mind for a pretty big obvious reason. This is the first official trailer for the next Marvel Cinematic Universe Disney Plus and Hulu series, Echo, which was actually slated to come out later this month, and then it got pushed to January, which makes sense since we got a couple of Marvel things already going on this month. So the character Echo, Maya Lopez, played by Alaqua Cox, we remember her from Hawkeye. She's a martial artist, she's deaf, she's an amputee, she's Native American, and she grew up with a bad crowd, as we clearly see in this trailer. Quick little refresher, in the Hawkeye series, she was an antagonist, and then at the end, she was like, nah, I'm just gonna go my own way. Ended up shooting Wilson Fisk in the eye, and now, well, she's got her own story to tell. So this trailer starts off with a flashback. We see that young Maya Lopez just wants some ice cream from a vendor, and he's kind of being a dick about it. He's like, I don't know what you're saying. And watching this interaction from a car is Wilson Fisk. Vincent D'Onofrio once again returning to play the Kingpin. Just seriously, as far as Marvel villain casting goes, we all agree that he is among the very best. He just does such a good job in that role. And so the Kingpin does what the Kingpin does. Takes that innocent vendor and just starts beating the living shit out of him like Kingpin does. I will say though, Mr. Vendor, you got off easy. You're lucky there are no cars around for him to slam you with the door. Yeah, I never forgot that from Daredevil Season 1 because that changed me. But yeah, you see the blood dripping from Kingpin's hand, and with the desaturated color scheme, this really does feel like it's gonna be a much more mature show than we are used to from the MCU, which is awesome. So the premise of this show is that Echo is being pursued by Kingpin's criminal empire. Makes sense after she shot him in the face in the Hawkeye finale. So she journeys home to confront her own family and legacy. Alright, so we get the feeling that this is going to be a very character-centric, very character-driven story. And apparently this comes with the news that this is going to be the first in a new brand of storytelling within the MCU called Marvel Spotlight. From what I've read, Marvel Spotlight is going to focus more on highlighting a character. Like here's a character and their story, and nothing else going on in the world matters. To which I say, alright, I feel like Moon Knight should have been the first of that, but better late than never, I guess. So yeah, it's clear that this Echo series is going to have nothing to do with the whole multiverse saga, even though it is part of the multiverse saga. But as far as the multiverse saga goes, it's going to be completely irrelevant, from our perspective right now at this point anyway. Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Werewolf by Night, which again does add to the multiverse saga being kind of a mess in general. But I do like this new direction this show seems to be taking the MCU. Cause I mean, look at this trailer. The whole second half of it is just a montage of some pretty grim looking stuff. Some brutal shots of violence and blood, like that one where the guy plugs the dude in the head. Upon watching that for the first time, I was like, holy shit. That one shot of the bloody corpse, that looks pretty TVMA. And of course, gotta talk about this. One brief shot we see is of the man without fear himself, Charlie Cox as Daredevil returning. I didn't even realize that was him at first, because the shot went by so fast. And it wasn't until I saw people pointing that out on Twitter, or X, that I was like, oh yeah, holy shit, that's Daredevil. Complete with the billy clubs and the return of the red suit finally, because I've been waiting for that. The mustard and ketchup suit from She-Hulk was cool. Nice throwback to his original look, but the red suit, that's what we all know and want. And it looks like that's what we're gonna get here in Echo. Sweet. Now, this show is actually doing a few things different from the previous MCU Disney Plus shows. One thing is, like I said, it's also premiering on Hulu, which yeah, of course, I guess that makes sense, since the biggest different thing they're doing is running with the TVMA rating. That's something the MCU has never done before. So I get it, if you have kids, you can just turn on parental controls on Disney Plus, watch the show on Hulu. Fine, but the other big thing they're doing that's different is they're releasing all the episodes on the same day. Yeah, they're releasing it as a binge, kind of harkening back to those old Marvel Netflix shows. I find that interesting, and it shows that they're really stepping outside their own boundaries with the show. Just everything I now know about it is it's hitting different. Because we all unanimously agree that the MCU now is not what it used to be. There have been some slip-ups of late, but with Echo, it feels like they're actually listening to the fans. Because they were like, alright, you're bringing Daredevil back? Well, we want it to feel like the Netflix show because we love the Netflix show. Which means we want it to feel rated R. The fact that Echo, which is gonna have Daredevil and Kingpin in it, is gonna be TVMA, shows that the folks at Marvel are taking that into account and they're moving in that direction. Cause let's face it, if Echo is gonna be TVMA, then there's a pretty good chance that Daredevil Born Again will be as well. And that's really exciting to me. Cause I know that Daredevil Born Again recently got a whole reset in production. They're starting again from the ground up with different writers, including one who wrote the Punisher Netflix show. So this darker, more mature direction that the MCU seems to be going with some of their characters, that's a pretty big win in my book. Cause if Echo does well, then I I imagine Marvel's not gonna stop at that. Let's get some more rated R TVMA titles up in here, like next season of Moon Knight, make that TVMA. Maybe the Blade movie. We already know that Deadpool 3 is gonna be rated R, and that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm liking this. Which means I really hope the show is good, and I hope it's not like Secret Invasion, which I enjoyed for what it was, admittedly, but most people hated it, so I hope history doesn't repeat itself here with Echo. So please, Marvel, please, 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 don't fuck this up. That is all. So, the official trailer for Echo. Have you watched it yet? What are your thoughts on it? And what are your thoughts on this whole TVMA rating and what it might mean for the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Whatever you think, go ahead and leave a comment. And of course, thank you for subscribing. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna read another chapter of the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Yeah, I'm actually making pretty good on my promise to read the first 2 parts of the book before the movie comes out. And I'm really enjoying it so far, which means the movie's probably gonna be awesome. Peace!